Welcome back, everybody. Happy Tuesday to all of you. And I am happy that all of you guys are here joining me tonight. And we are semi starting the week off with yet another live stream. I can't help but to obviously acknowledge all the negativity in the news and everything else that we're seeing. My last live stream, we talked a little bit about civil unrest. We talked a lot about what's just wrong with the country, and then we're seeing a lot of what's just wrong in the world. And man, it's dark, right? It just seems very dark. The good news is, or at least from where I'm standing, where I'm living, it's pretty positive, right? Like my community close to me, um, everybody seems to kind of support one another, which is beautiful. And I think that's something that's really lost, and I think that's probably one of the biggest messages I try to put out there is community. And you know, we need it. We need it a lot right now. What we're seeing happening, this degradation of society, as I'm going to call it, is it's sad, it's scary, and it's quite frankly very real. So if we can hold on to some neighborly values and just appreciate perhaps our neighbors in general, I think I think that's a good thing. I just hope it's not too late. I'm seeing more and more on social media that both sides, whatever those sides might be, are claiming it's becoming impossible to coexist. I'm seeing the right saying it more than the left for, well, what I think are justifiable reasons. On the opposite side of that, I'm seeing more on the right saying, no, now's the time to have further dialogue. We're not going to allow evil to silence us. And I'm not calling all of the left evil. I want to make that very clear. I think there's still some good there. In fact, I want to shout out Bill Maher. I can't say I never would have thought that I would have mentioned Bill Maher in a positive way on my channel, except I saw how he had that conversation with my friend Colion Noir. And when Colion was on his channel and how he respected Colion so well and heard his point of view about firearms and everything. And then Bill being one of the most outspoken about the Christian persecution that's taken place in Nigeria right now, which is a little something I want to talk about because I mentioned this on my social media. Like, I'm I've got people I know in Israel and everything that's happening in Gaza and all that stuff openly admitting that what's happening in Nigeria is worse. Might be a distraction, I don't know. But I just want to read off a couple of things. I've gathered some sources from Open Doors UK, Open Doors US, AP, Catholic News Agency, quite a few different sources, and I just want to read through a little bit what's happening. And obviously, I want to talk a little bit about this church, of the Latter-day Saints and that took place. You know, and then again, something that hit relatively close to home for me is I've got family, like immediate family in North Carolina where this again, another veteran opened fire at that Southport restaurant. I've got family in Southport. And we were concerned, like, it's a family, like, that likes to go out. It's close family that likes to go out and eat at these restaurants in Southport, North Carolina. And when we saw that break the news, it's like, holy is this, are they okay? Thankfully, everybody that I knew is okay, but there was still lives lost and still people deeply affected by the actions, again, of an evildoer. And then this guy drives his truck, his pickup truck with two very obvious American flags into this church, opens fire on the congregation, and then apparently with gasoline sets fire as an accelerant to the church. What the hell's going on? Armed attacks, massacres, and raids in Nigeria. Militant Islamist groups such as Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa Province, otherwise known as ISWAP, carry out attacks on Christian majority areas, churches, and congregations. Open doors. Armed herder groups, especially Fulani herdsmen, often Muslim, are regularly implicated in raids on Christian farming communities in Nigeria's Middle Belt and Central regions, Open Door UK, and 5 other sources. These raids often result in killing of men, destruction of homes and farms, burning of churches, and mass displacement. In 2025, reports indicate that in just one string of attacks in the Benue state, 218 people were killed and over 6,000 displaced in Christian villages. One recent case, Father Matthew Aya was gunned down in his car in Enugu, apparently targeted because of his position within the church. Another massacre example, in June 2025, the Yawalta massacre reportedly killed between 100 to 200 people, mostly Christians, and displaced thousands. Kidnappings, forced conversions, sexual violence. Women are at risk of abduction and sexual violence during these attacks. Some kidnappings are explicitly faith motivated or exploit the vulnerability of Christian communities. Forced conversions or pressure to renounce Christian faith are also reported, especially in rural or isolated communities. Destruction and denial of property, church buildings. Many churches are destroyed during attacks. Christians often face bureaucratic or legal obstacles in obtaining land or permits to build or maintain churches. Impunity, weak protection by state authorities, persecutors are seldom held accountable. Many reports state that the attacks occur with little or no state response, and it keeps going. Estimates vary, but some reports say thousands of Christians are killed annually. For example, a report claims that over 7,000 Christians have been killed in the first 220 days of 2025 alone. One figure often cited is that more Christians are killed in Nigeria for their faith than anywhere else in the world. The violence has displaced millions. Some sources say up to 12 million Christians have been displaced since 2009. It's interesting. It's interesting that I turn on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Fox News. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing them talk about this. You know, and it's kind of sad. It's like, we haven't, I mean, what's been happening in the Ukraine? Like, we haven't heard really about that either recently. If it wasn't for social media, I don't think most people would know about anything happening in the world that's not being force-fed to you by all these different news agencies that are ultimately 2 or 3 of the same news agencies. It's wild out there, guys. I'm gonna get to the chat here in just a minute, but it's I know quite a few people. Again, I've got family close to me that say, I just don't watch the news anymore. It's always bad news. It's always negative, or it's not, or there is good news, but it's all like, oh, look at this cute dog video or something like that, nothing substantial. And more and more people are either the It's just funny. I guess it's just human nature. A lot of people just want to turn a blind eye to it, head in the sand kind of thing. A lot of people are like ready to take to the streets, Civil War 2.0, let's go. A lot of people are just like, can't we all just get along, man? And then there's those of us that are just like, you know what? I just want to be left alone. I want to be aware of what's going on, so that way I know how to prepare for it. Um, but I also just want to be able to raise my kids safely. And it's if you turn on the news, it seems like that's almost impossible to do, right? You can't send your kids to a public school because if they're not going to be killed, they're going to be alienated. That's kind of the gist of what we're ultimately getting at. The left will say that you can't send your kids to public school because there's so many mass killings that you're just gonna send your child there to that. And then the right says, well, if you send your kids to public school, they're going to come out being the left. So what do? Well, I guess you opt to do what I'm doing and not sending them to school. Homeschooling is a thing, and I think that is honestly a beautiful thing to do. I am very blessed in my life to be able to spend a majority of my time home with my kids, with my wife, and I I love it. And the only unsafe thing that takes place here is like, well, with them just being kids, not any outside factor. And if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about, like, don't play with the outlet, son. You know, don't eat that rock. It's concerning, but at the same time, I'm not going to live my life in fear. Don't like what they're teaching in public schools, so I'm not going to send them to public school. Private school might be too expensive. Guess I'm just going to homeschool it. You know? Oh, man. I still want to go out and do things. This past weekend I was down in Massachusetts for the Central Mass Irish Festival. They got Irish music, Guinness. Sign me up. Not going to confirm nor deny if I had a firearm on me. Um, but it was nice to kind of just go out and be very vigilant. And that's just kind of the mindset you have to have at this point in time. Especially, I mean, people that were already a little concerned about large gatherings, populated areas, things like that. I mean, just now you turn on the news, it's like, why did I even do this? Like, I was already concerned before. I'm not even going to worry about it. Like, just not going to involve myself. And that's just like these campus tours. 2A Defenders, the college outreach, the student outreach program that I'm chairperson of, with along with my co-chair Nico, great guy. Um, yeah, we're going to be going to college campuses. We're going to be speaking and talking about the significance and the value of our Second Amendment because we don't want to be like what's happening in Nigeria. We don't want for our people to be oppressed. So y'all keep your head on a swivel. Y'all stay vigilant. Seek training. Prepare mentally and physically for the evil that exists out there that wants to see your demise. Because I guarantee you, it doesn't matter what you think about, what you look like, who you voted for, there's going to be some opposition to that that's so far extreme that they'd rather see you dead instead of free. That they'd rather see you dead instead of speak your mind. They'd rather see you dead instead of hold on to those values in which you hold on to. So train like it and start acting like it. Let's get to the chat. Let's get to the chat. Let's answer a couple of questions. Let's go over a couple of other things. First and foremost, first chat of the night. Echo. Hi, man. What's good? I'll tell you what's good, man. Life is good. Life is good. It might seem a little dark, might seem a little down right now. Life is ultimately good. Extremely blessed. I hope you're good, man. Keith, good to see you. Cheers, everyone. Hope to stay awake and join in tonight. Appreciate it, man. Country Bear Assassin, I see you there too, but I'm trying to, keep YouTube happy. All right. So trying to watch the language a little bit. Okay. Clint Stream, let's go. Goofy Camille, good to see you as well. Thank you for being here. Traveler 1970 07, bro. What did I miss there? Not too sure. G23, also hit the thumbs up, y'all. It's free and helps the channel. That's absolutely right. Speaking of helping the channel out, you guys know I've got a little something cool happening. Okay. All right. If you haven't watched the Rumble video talking about that, and just head over to my Rumble channel, my 100K thank you. You can check the description of that video on Rumble to learn more about that. All right, Rostic Arms. I think I saw you in the chat earlier. I'll have to say hello to you, of course, as always. And let me just say that I'm working with a couple of manufacturers, companies, things like that. Well, one manufacturer, but other companies that manufacture their own different types of product. But one of which, my local gun shop up here, Monadnock Firearms, we noticed that YouTube actually started removing subscribers because I guess the channel gained too many subscribers after I launched that 100K thank you. And so they removed subscribers after that. And it's like, wow, didn't think, okay. So overnight we gained like 400 and then they seemingly removed 380. So make sure you're still subscribed because that is going to be a prerequisite to be valid for that. All right. But yeah, there you have it, man. And also super chats. Thank you, Kryptonian, being the first one tonight. Greatly appreciate that. Super chats greatly help out the channel. For those of you that missed the last live stream, I got 2 horses now because I can't say no to my wife, and my wife is crazy. And she figured, why have 1 horse when our neighbors had a baby, a filly, little filly Connemara 5 months ago that I was the first human to pick her up and carry her into the barn. And well, now she's ours too. And well, it just makes sense, you have to have a companion for your horse, a companion for your companion. Send help, right? Anyway, Kryptonian sent a little bit of help. Thank you, Kryptonian. Appreciate it. Watched the United Nations General Assembly these past 5 days in a row. I have not. 12-hour General Assembly. Main theme is worldwide stability problems. Nation state reps pointed out hate as a contagion. Yep. I was watching an Instagram reel, and I didn't realize that so many people were actually, this stupid. They were talking about how racist Charlie Kirk was. In the comment section after this, one woman talked about, if you know, unfollow me because I supported Charlie Kirk or I'm sad about his death, so long, bye-bye. Rightfully so. And somebody commented, like, how could you openly support a like a self-proclaimed racist or whatever they were saying? And then they went on to further talk about, they're like, okay, give example of his racist remarks. And they're like, well, he called a Chinese man in one of his arguments a derogatory term. And I couldn't believe that actually somebody believed that clip, because that clip, Charlie was getting fired up at Cenk Uygur, the 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 president, owner, whatever the hell he is, of the Young Turks. His name is Cenk. What? It's his name. And he said, and Charlie Kirk, said something along the lines of, okay, Cenk, listen here, or something like that. Don't quote me, something along those lines. And they're like, they take that clip and they're like, oh, look at that. He's racist. And if you know Charlie Kirk, you know that him and Cenk have been at it for years, because Cenk Uygur is honestly a very difficult man to, I wouldn't know personally, but from all of the interviews that I've witnessed with him, he gets extremely irate extremely quickly, and is it kind of comes off as a moron to me. And whatever, I can appreciate like what Anna Kasparian was saying about him, things like that, what he might do for people close to him. But overall, I think his politics suck, and I think, maybe he doesn't suck as a person, but I don't know. I'm more team Steven Crowder, team Charlie Kirk, anti Chink in those arguments, but I just couldn't believe that people were just taking that 4 or 5 second clip. I mean, I guess at this point I can believe it. And then trying to smear somebody who has, if you've watched any of his interviews, wants to steer people away from looking at color, from looking at race, from looking at, yeah, like gender even, and just focus on the character, the moral character of an individual, and judge based off of that. It's like anti-racism. And as I mentioned a couple of streams ago, I got to the point on Facebook even, like, like whatever, man. I always said that I want people to see, especially friends that I've, friends, Facebook friends from decades ago when I first got my Facebook, like in 2000. Can I say decades ago? No, but like a long time ago. And I always said I'm never going to delete any friends. It's not something I'm going to do for political differences. And then after Charlie Kirk's assassination, it got to the point where it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not deleting friends because of political differences. I'm deleting Facebook friends because of moral indecency. These people are disgusting, vile, celebrating the death of another man like that, and the hate that you're talking about. Nation state reps pointed out hate as a contagion. what what hate are they referring to? The false hate that they're saying Charlie Kirk was spewing, or the real hate for those that celebrated his death and even called for the murder and execution of his wife and kids? And I guess the reason why I'm still kind of on this is because it affected me in some sort of way. Any tragedy like that, and people, I had an interview this past week with a college student. She was good, comes from a very left wing college in DC, but she was asking what I thought were fair questions, and she said, one of the questions she asked was, um, what are your thoughts about, on the same day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there was also another school shooting, and that was largely overshadowed because of the news with Charlie Kirk. And I'm like, well, as you can imagine, Charlie Kirk was a huge public figure. This is the first political assassination in decades that we've seen. And so, as you can imagine, that was going to take a lot of the airwaves, a lot of the news. And yes, there was another act of evil, another tragedy that is not condoned by I think a majority of people that would know about such a thing. And it doesn't, any loss of life is significant. Not one person's life lost is any less significant than another, because everybody wants to talk about, well, what about this? What ifs, what ifs, what ifs? And all these what if isms are quite frankly just exhausting, or what aboutisms that we keep hearing. It's like, what about it? It's all evil. It's all tragic. It's all sad. It's all a direct outcome of this degradation of society, full circle here, that I was talking about just a few minutes ago. How did we get there? How did we get to the point where so many people are saying it's okay? It's justified in their mind that they can carry out such acts. Again, it, these past couple of incidences, again at Southport, where I have family, that was carried out from, as far as we know, allegedly a veteran. Again, allegedly, I think also a Marine. And the same thing with this Church of the Latter-day Saints shooting in Michigan, also from again what I understand, a Marine. You know, why is this happening? I'm gonna turn the floor back over to you guys for just a minute while I think about some of this stuff and let it marinate. And I want to shout out my man Tanner for bringing a little lightheartedness into this. Thank you, Tanner, man. It's always good to hear from you, dude. And guys, bear with me here. I got like an eyelash in my eye or something. I don't know. Maybe it's God telling me to calm down and try to bring a little bit of lightheartedness and, humor and joy into tonight's stream instead of getting amped up about all the bullshit that we're seeing. Here's funds for everything except nods. Hope all is well, man. Our wives are so good at spending our money. That's true. But then I look at this home that she's built. I look at the yard and I see the chicken coop with the ducks. And I did the math. I only got another 248,364 eggs that those chickens need to produce to be able to pay off that coop. And then the horses made it all worth it when I saw my daughter, who loves horses, by the way, her like squeal when she saw that we had two of our own in our backyard. Oh, and watching, it's like these animals too, these 1,000-pound animals know that they're dealing with children, and they're gentle, they're cool, And yeah, I'm out there pounding in T-posts to build a fence, shoveling crap, delivering hay, carrying buckets of water. It's becoming more and more work. But man, damn if it's not like therapeutic. I don't even listen to music most of the time when I'm out there doing my yard chores. It's nice, man. Yeah, they're good at spending our money. Most of the time, it's worth it. Rustic Arms, what's up, brother? Thanks for all your support, man. And thanks for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. We don't celebrate any deaths, regardless of how you felt about the person, praying for all affected by the craziness in the world. Yeah. And like I said, man, in the last live stream, I talked about in 2011, I remember exactly where I was when our combat instructors woke us up in the middle of the night, because I was in Camp Geiger, MCT, May, and they brought us into the classroom and they showed us the images of a dead Osama bin Laden, and we cheered and all that type of stuff. And I talked about last live stream, like, man, my outlook on things, on life, on a lot of things have changed. And don't get me wrong, I believe evil exists in this world, and some people, maybe they just do deserve a good killing, if it's truly evil. But who am I to decide that even? It's unless you're trying to oppress me, do harm unto my family, how can I how can I judge? But at the end of it all, there are some things, mass loss of life, even just a little bit of loss of life, that some of these people just carry out. And if there's no remorse, smug about the heinous actions that they've committed, I don't think there's any rehabilitating that. I don't know. I got to do a lot more thinking and praying on that one. But yeah. Man, what a night. What a night. What a night. Let's get back over to the chat over here. Let's see what you guys got going on. Again, thanks Tanner, Kryptonian, Rostic. Appreciate you guys with the super chats. I am going to try to get to as many chats as possible, but of course the super chats are the ones that light up and my ADHD sees it, and it's like, oh, I can keep accountability of all of it. Sometimes I miss one, but you guys usually in the chat keep me accountable. So appreciate that, guys. Jessica Sim 44, good to see you again, man. You and all your Jessica Simpson craziness. Looks like a brewing civil war. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think a lot of people understand what that means. Like, a lot of people are going to realize real quick what happens when the garbage truck doesn't come, when, well, you no longer have running water, when the grocery stores you can't go to, when you have, well, can't take a hot shower because there is no water. A lot of people are going to suffer, and I think there's going to be a huge loss of life if there's an actual civil war. I mean, if the power grid goes down, I mean, that's just think about that. Think about how much we rely on electricity. Everything I'm doing right now, my entire income, all of it, everything's digital at this point. Imagine if that just goes away. You might have a generator for a while that's probably ran on fuel, which you have to get from somewhere unless you have somehow managed to make some sort of self-sustaining home. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Guys, stay prepared. At this point, if anybody calls you paranoid, just call them ignorant. And I've said it so many times before too. It's not paranoia, it's preparedness. But if that's one thing that I think is kind of funny is less and less over the years I've heard the term paranoid being used because I think more and more people are starting to realize you weren't paranoid. You were right. They were trying to force us and force those vaccinations on us. They were actually trying to keep us in our homes and mandate mask mandates just to see how much control they could get over the people. Yeah, they yeah. And that's just one instance, you know? So stay prepared. Make sure you've got good supplies of food. I mean, everybody should know this already. Good supplies of food, ammunition, water, right? Firearms goes without a saying. Should. Oh, goodness. Gerald Murr, good to see you. Thank you. General Grant, thank you for being here as well. Pack Rats 2A Musings. Evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Thank you for being a monthly member. G23, you got me worried about how my 40s are going to hit me. No. Oh, goodness. What was it? G23, Crunchy Taco, true on everyone's palate being different. I wasn't a rye guy until I hit my 40s. Ah, that makes sense now. Mark X the Spot, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Also, hey, monthly member, have a good stream and convo, guys. I'll catch y'all next time. Have a good night, man, if you're not already here. Mr. Magoo, God is what we need, but y'all got to realize we are being destabilized from within to facilitate a communist takeover of America. Yeah, you know, something from within. I don't know about a communist takeover. I don't know anything. I just know that I think a lot of power hungry world leaders would benefit at either the fall of the United States or the, what's the term to use here? Having the United States in their pocket. Jake Boxer, Crunchy, I think we all got kind of upset for a while. What did I miss? Dan saying I made it. You can start now. Appreciate it, Dan. Joe Brown, what's going on? Good to see you. Bates label, it's not justifiable. I think what you're talking about is what I was referring to earlier about all of that. Yeah. Yeah, I saw too that Steven Crowder's bringing Change My Mind back. I mean, a lot of people are getting back to that dialogue and having that, yeah, having that conversation in person. I think it's very important. All right. So Nick Ferguson, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here, dude. Let's see, Captain Caveman, thank you for your service. Appreciate that. It was a good 14 years, It seemed like it was a long time, and then, man, it went by quicker than I was expecting. Good evening, good people from Rostic also. Oh, right. Yeah, look, Pack Rats to Amusement reminding me about there was also another shooting at the casino in Texas. There was one up here that took place, from my understanding, in Nashua, again, not far from where I live. Like at a restaurant right next to where a wedding was happening. somebody was screaming "Free Palestine" or something along those lines. It's crazy. It's crazy. Jessica Simp 44. I'm pretty sure he gets a cut from USSCA, but don't let that deter you from the quality of content he brings to the table. Who are we talking about? The civil unrest or the collapse of society reminds us of Kyle Rittenhouse. I'll have to follow up. Let's see. Vulcan Rumble. The government in Massachusetts openly defies U.S. Supreme Court rulings, refuses to give U.S. citizens their rights, refuses to be audited, and persecutes U.S. citizens for their rights. It's true. In fact, the state of New Hampshire, on a couple of cases now, I do believe, has actually sued the state of Massachusetts because New Hampshire residents, where we are a very free state, will travel down to Massachusetts with, let's say, a firearm that isn't recognized as a legal firearm, which there are no illegal firearms, if you ask me, and but down in Massachusetts, and they'll, for whatever reason, they get caught with said firearm, and then try to, slap charges on a New Hampshire resident, and the state of New Hampshire is like, nope, you're not doing that with your unconstitutional BS. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It seems as though if there was not a time to arm up before, now's the time for explicitly the what ifs. Yeah. Yep. Very true. Very true. Very true. Very true. We have armed guards at banks, airports, government buildings, etc. Need armed guards, trained civilians in our schools and churches. A lot of churches are taking that upon themselves. Last I heard about that Michigan church too, that there was like I guess some ammunition that was stored at the church um, that caught on fire, and a lot of people are like, "Whoa, why was there ammunition at the church?" And it's kind of like, well, for one, kind of based, and it's not a term I often use, but at the same time, if there's a church security team, there also might be a standardization about what is used, and so that way people aren't bringing in their own, perhaps even arms or ammunition. They're utilizing what the church might provide, and so it might be just like what we have in the Marines and armory. We've got ammunition that's stored there. I get that it's a military complex versus a church. I totally get that. But let's take a look at where a lot of these incidences are starting to take place now. Churches are wanting to become a little bit harder targets. They're relying on the congregation and volunteers from within the congregation to help protect said congregation. And so insert a church security team, and let's just say they all want to be utilizing federal HST 9mm ammo. Cool. The church is going to provide that and store it on church grounds, right? I mean, that's just a scenario that I made up in my mind. Okay. I don't find it to be all that unreasonable, quite frankly. Like when they said that ammunition at a church, I'm like, okay, you know, I don't think they were planning to do anything hostile with it, but what do I know? So there you go. Russell Garms is saying it true here. Got to keep your head on a swivel. The world is getting crazy. World's been crazy, man. It's just getting crazier. All right. Yeah. Looks like Nigeria is under attack and being inspired by the attack in Israel, perhaps. Country Bear Assassin, also monthly member. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Stay strapped or get clapped. And at this point, you can even be strapped and get clapped. Might as well go ahead and try to minimize that as much as possible. Stay strapped. All right. Let's get on over here. Jake. Thank you, man. This is needed. Does your pony have a sore throat because he's a little hoarse? Oh, appreciate that. Red Bandit, want to hear more sad news? My can is in jail. Well, hopefully it's only for a couple of days, if that. All right. Tanner, again, thank you, man. Got you, Crunchy Taco. Glad to have you here. What I miss? Appreciate you guys. I remember watching Khalil Noir's video on why we need AR-15s, and it's a video showing a store being stormed by a mob of criminals in California. Stan, yeah. Again, man, it's not up to, especially the government, and even furthermore, especially not anybody that doesn't live my life to tell me what I should use to protect me and my family. I'm not going to leave it up to any of you. I'm not going to leave it up, especially to the government, especially people that oppose firearms. And to begin with, like, you just need a shotgun or you just need a pistol. Like, how do you know what I need? You don't. So stop telling me what you think I need or I don't need or whatever. Like, just be gone with yourself. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I can tell you things that I disagree with, you know, but hey, God gave us free will. You go do yours, man. You're going to face that judgment one day. All right. And as long as you're not doing anything that's going to, like I said, oppress, harm other people, okay. Don't want government involved. I don't want to be involved. I don't want government involved. I don't want you involved with me. So just, whatever, man. Unless we're homies, kind of don't really value your input. That's just all there is to it. Now, granted, if I'm having a discussion with somebody, I want that dialogue. I'm having a discussion with all of you here that are watching right now. I'll value your input. I want to hear what you guys have to say, or at least see what you have to say because we're typing. You know, man, what a time. What a time is right. Rostic, I did armed church security for 7 years. Always was my worst fear for some wacko to attack our church. I know, man. And I just had that conversation again, like it's crazy to me, with Stephen Williford, who wasn't even present during that service. And he ran to the sound of gunfire barefoot, mind you, and with a handful of rounds that he picked up, threw into a magazine, inserted into his AR-15. 6 out of 8 shots made contact with the evildoer, and stopped the loss of innocent life. Like, that's why when people talk about all the bad that guns are used for, it's hard to quantify the good, because how many more lives would have been lost that day if Stephen didn't intervene? How many lives were saved? It's hard to quantify that. You can get a number of how many attended the service that day, perhaps, maybe. That would be still a difficult thing to do. And think. Situations like that happen all the time. How many times have crimes either been prevented, thwarted, loss of life stopped, saving lives because somebody intervened with a firearm, or somebody just intervened? They actually just did something. Daniel Penny didn't need a gun. He did it. And what happened to him? Put on trial. We are a society being groomed to punish those that are taking righteous action upon themselves. Instead of celebrating somebody that ended somebody looking to harm others, he was put on trial for it. No wonder you have more and more people not stepping up, not wanting to intervene. It started with the entire CPR case. You know what I'm talking about? When I was a lifeguard, we used to make jokes at that point in time, and this was my first job, as a 16-year-old lifeguard at a neighborhood pool. And me and the other lifeguards used to joke because we've heard about these lawsuits where somebody was choking, and then just Good Samaritan came up, gave the Heimlich. You touched me, that's assault, I'm suing you, whatever. Good Samaritan laws exist to try to prevent that type of stuff. But it'd be like, man, if somebody's like drowning and we got to perform CPR, how are we supposed to get permission that we have, how are we supposed to get permission to touch them and save their life? I don't know. The jokes become real. Hey, I stopped this bad dude from doing bad things, and now I'm on trial for it. We are we're, we're grooming the men of this country that just to not be involved, to not be strong, be weak, be out of mind, just stay out of the way. Just, you don't want to God, I mean, think about it, like you don't want to hinder anybody that doesn't look like you from making it because somehow it's going to be your fault. So, you got to watch what you say, how you say it. If you do intervene in something, well, you're just asking for trouble, even if you're doing the right thing. So just, you know, don't speak your mind. Just go sit down. You might offend somebody. Man, we are on a quite the slope. It's not even a slippery slope. It's just straight down. Oh man. Social media really made communications very clear when mainstream media lies. We all know. Very true. We had another super chat come through. Barefooted Gardener. Good to see you, man. What's up, y'all? I'm so close to finishing my contemporary goldfish pond. Nice. Happy for you. Hope it goes well. Thanks for that super chat. Barefooted Gardener. Jeremy Wilson. Hey, bro. What pistol brace would you recommend, please, sir? Thanks for your service. Semper Fi. Oh, can't really see it because the comment is up, but the SBA 5 brace. SB Tactical SBA 5 brace. I think this is like the best brace on the market. This thing is sturdy and I think is attractive. Very easy to install, just like many other stocks and braces out there. QD attachments on both sides for your sling. There you go. SBA 5. It's what's on the Signature Series Mark 18 when you pick yours up. That's still available, by the way. Except mine obviously is an SBR, so I've got a DD stock on mine. All right. With all that being said, is this real right now? Kels just sent me a news report updated at 6:41 p.m. September 30th. Bomb squad detonates suspicious device at Utah State University prior to Turning Point USA event. A non-explosive device was detonated before Turning Point USA's first Utah event since Charlie Kirk assassination. Suspicious device was detonated by law enforcement on Tuesday afternoon prior to the first Turning Point. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. The institution was already taking extra security measures amid heightened concerns. Suspicious device. They're calling it a non-explosive device was detonated. Then I have questions. I'm about to research this one a little bit. An employee observed an individual place the device under a tree near Old Main, thought it was suspicious. He said a canine gave a bit of an indication on the device, which prompted a response by the bomb squad. The Turning Point USA chapter in Utah State University is set to host Alex Clark, Senator Mike Lee, and Utah Governor Spencer Cox, Representative Andy Biggs, and former Congressman Jason Chaffetz on Tuesday night. That's a lineup. It's the first TPUSA event in the state since the organization's founder was assassinated at Utah Valley University September 10th. September 10th, even though it was only 20 days ago, it just feels like, man, a lifetime ago that I remember like yesterday. It's a weird thing. Interesting. Guys, it's getting crazy, y'all. Getting crazy, as mentioned. All clear after suspicious device reported at Utah State University. Man. That reminds me. If you haven't purchased any body armor yet, you should probably do that. One of my favorite One of my favorite plate carriers is the one that you see that my microphone is covering up. Audi Gear. This thing is sweet. All right, super comfortable. Really like Audi Gear a lot. They just make quality stuff. Check them out. Check out, you guys already know, Monadnock Firearms. I've talked about them. Gun Owners of America, our fight against all anti-Second Amendment legislation. Become a member. We're trying to dismantle the NFA. We're trying to better arm good Americans. Hold up displays. The wall you see behind me, the logo you see right there. If you guys are looking to outfit your man cave, your closet, your room, and it doesn't have to even necessarily be firearms, right? I got backpacks hanging up on the other part there. And did my camera just die again? I just lost something here. Did my battery die? It's all right. We're going to go to backup. Stand by. We're going again. What's up, y'all? I got this, I don't know what happened though. I didn't hear it click or anything. That's weird. Probably just overheated again. Damn it, Sony. What are you going to do? Right? Cool. Anyway, does that look all right? We'll go that way. That's fine. Yeah, so there you go. How about everything else though? Mic working? Sweet 2x4s. Thanks, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like I literally built the 2x4s, built the framing. Me and a buddy of mine did it over a weekend, and then just screw in all the panels. Super easy, you know. So that's one way of doing it there. There's a little behind the scenes for you guys. All right. Stop being cheap, Clint. I'm doing what I can. All right. My wife wants more horses. Okay. So here I am. I bought 5 military plate carriers during a Dermo auction on base for 25 a piece and used ceramic plates for 2. That's pretty freaking cool. That's awesome. Kryptonian saying Taco Tuesday and client. Who's your client? Looking at the wrong camera now. Hey, Clint, I was wondering what scope mountain rings did you use the Vortex LVPVO on your Colt AR build? And oh, where did I so it's the Vortex Viper PST 1-4, and it's on a Burris Pepper mount. I still have it. It's heavy. It's kind of heavy though. That's the only thing about that. So okay. That's the only thing about that there. Let me see here. Just let me go back to a couple of chats because I know I missed a few of you guys. I got your pistol brace question answered. And oh, Phil saying the AT4 just looks cool. The AT4 was a goodbye gift from the Marines. It's been shot. It's just an empty tube. I want to turn it into a beer bong. All right. I think that'd be kind of fun. Oh, man. Oh, let's see here. Tanner saying, still waiting on your Mark 18 because of non-DD parts not being available. Wait a minute. That's a good problem to have, all right? Because I know how many parts were ordered for like pistol grips and optics. Ow. And man, all my stuff's falling out. And lights, right? So the light, the mod button, the angled foregrip, the Driven Arms Co. pistol grip, the EOTech, burn proof gear rail wrap. At least I have an idea. Maybe I was off. Hey, that's a. I mean, I know that's not good news to you, but that's like decent news to me. All right, so. The AT4 is a true one and done weapon. It really is. Yeah, that's like the only. For those of you that don't know, the rocket launcher behind me is an AT4, anti-tank 4. Play on words also because it's an AT4, an 84 millimeter projectile that's shot. But the problem with the AT4 is it's a, as Jessica Simp has said, a one and done. You cannot reload it. You cannot repurpose. I mean, you can repurpose it for like, I'm going to repurpose it to like a beer bong, but you can't rearm it or anything like that. So it's just an empty tube. So you can imagine there's a bunch of those tubes laying around at all sorts of different military installations and bases everywhere. So if somebody tries to sell you one for like 400 or 500 bucks, just you can find it cheaper somewhere else probably. So, there you go. Anyway, oh, Nick, we are in, oh my goodness. We are in the hospital about to start pushing our second baby out now. I'll hop back in a later bit. Bro, God is, wait a minute. Please tell me you're not going to hop back into the live stream after your second child is born. You're watching the live at the hospital, about to start pushing our second baby out now. I'll hop back in a bit, brother. Amen. God is good. That's one of the best comments. That's hilarious. That is you know, Nick, I hope you guys are blessed with a smooth, seamless birth and everything is good. Everybody's healthy, everybody's safe. And Nick, God bless you, man, you and your family and your second little one. All right. Very, very cool. Oh my goodness. Priorities, Nick. From Jump Master. Oh man, that is too funny. Let's see here, guys. A couple other things I want to, Nick, I salute you. A couple other things I kind of want to let you guys know is, I've had some other supporters. We've had some other things that we might be coming up. Might for like the podcast stuff, right? My friend Ian Runkle of the Bailey, he said he'd be more than happy to be a guest, So show him love if you're not following Runkle of the Bailey, our Canadian Pro 2A lawyer, Drew Wallace, who is a competitive mounted shooter, who is an absolute beast. He's a former Ranger and just an awesome guy. He's actually not too far from me up here in the Northeast. So go give him a follow at the Ranger Cowboy on Instagram. And then you guys might remember, I mean, it's not like he and I did a lot of content together or anything like that, but you guys remember Alec? Yeah, you guys remember him? We did a couple of those stupid little internet challenges together, save the turtles. Uh, yeah, I think he's wanting to start making some content again. Just, just throwing that out there. All right. So, my buddy Such, Don, Such Double O. I think he might want to be doing some stuff also. So yeah, you know. Damn it, Brian. Nick busted out the super safety on his old lady. If you know, you know. He said, hold up, my boy Clint is on, woman. Oh, Zach, that's funny, man. Man, it's a crunchy taco Brian. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The Gundy Award winning Runkle. That's absolutely right. Monadnock Shooters, good to see you, man. Oh, that's too funny, Brian. That was good, man. That was really good. Goodness gracious. Y'all crack me up, dude. Let's see here, guys. The government is shutting down, so I'll be unemployed for the first time in decades. Anybody need help? Any help cleaning guns? Is it actually happening? I haven't even heard. Like, is the government shutdown actually happening? Oh, I guess so. I guess so. We could do a massive Skype call with all of us, Tanner says. You know? Mm-hmm. That would be fun. Also, if you guys like these brass glasses or cups, clocks and colors, they also make this little double X bracelet. This little double-headed X bracelet thing. I thought it was really cool. I'm not like Norse or pagan or anything like that, obviously. But I just thought that was really cool. I liked it, and I was like, it's that entire, not to sound too corny here, but that like warrior ethos, warrior mindset, and then it's just a saying in the military, like if somebody dies, till Valhalla, stuff like that. Obviously, we believe in heaven, the real place, and but it's just a saying among the community and the veterans and stuff like that. But I just thought that was kind of cool, kind of a fun little thing. But anyway, Clocks and Colors, check them out also because they just make cool stuff. But anyway, a massive Skype call sounds like it would be pretty fun. In fact, um, I'm trying to get through all of. Oh, Kelsey, my wife's texting me. She's saying General Grant is very curious about the chickens, babe. Oh man, and then all right, okay. But I also saw he just commented here, or not just commented a little bit back ago. I heard Stephen Wilford speak at a Charlie Kirk Memorial a few weeks back. Yes, he's very good. Um, oh, also yes. Clint, did you see it was finally admitted that approximately 275 FBI agents were undercover at January 6th? Another conspiracy come true. It's one of those things where it's like we all knew it. We already knew that there were federal agents present. All the guys dressed the same, look the same, wearing the same things. Like, you're not undercover, bro. You're as obvious as everybody else standing around you because you're all feds. And there it is. There it is. It's just it's insane. All right, so what was General Grant asking about the chickens? Wait, what is this? Jerry Brooks, thanks for being a member, man. Ran over a dog, stopped to check on it. Oh, you didn't run over the dog. Okay. God, I feel so bad. Um, I ran over the dog, stopped to check on it. Not you, but somebody. The owner drove up and held the man at gunpoint, made him bury the dog and withdraw 200 out of his ATM to comp him. It's getting crazy. I feel like 200's a little low, but Pack Rats 2A Musings. Yeah, I've been saying that about the camera, man, because usually when I prepare for it, I open up all the little doors and everything on the camera to like the SD card, to the battery compartment, all that stuff. And I've been having good luck with it. And I have the screen out and everything, but for whatever reason, it decided that, it was just gonna die again, I mean, we can try it one more time because obviously this camera looks better than the camera. Oh, it's definitely hot. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Stupid freaking technology supposed to make life a little bit easier over here. But no, not at all. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like here. Oh, it also could have just been that the battery died. So yeah, there's that. It's probably just going to happen again. But for the time being, let's get the other camera back over here. There we go. That looks better. I think it looks better at least. Uh, anyway. Oh, okay. I'm trying to find Grant. Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, what kind and how many chickens do you have, Clint? All right, so we've got a couple of Rhode Island Reds. Um, we just picked up two more because again, we're crazy. Uh, what what were the other two, Kels, that we just picked up? One's like a New Hampshire Red or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just know I picked up two more chickens, and they're two more now. And we've got one of the chickens unfortunately died earlier this year. That was kind of like sad. I didn't, but she died from let's just say the rooster being a little too rough. Yeah, kind of shitty, not gonna lie. But so right now we have a total of seven chickens, and the latest two that we got were Sage Stars. Yeah, Sage Stars. So there you go. And we've got four ducks with one drake. His name's Vader. And one of the ducks' names is Warp Speed because she's got like a lot of white feathers. And when she was a little bit younger, it looked like you're going into, like she was looking at you, it looked like you're about to go into warp speed because it looks like the stars that are starting to stretch as you go into hyperspace because I'm a nerd. Okay. So yeah, but that's why we got more hens. So that way Chanticleer, my rooster, my boy, who's actually like really sweet to me. Like he lets me pick him up and pet him and everything. He I guess got a little too rough. So we gave him another girl. Nature is metal. All right, that's all there is to it. Oh man, I have a bunch of dead chickens in the fridge. You know, no, we got a few of those too. Yeah, Rhode Island Reds. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they're pretty chill though. I don't mind them. They are stupid though, man. They are dumb, but they're pretty cool. The old Star Wars are good. Yes, they are. Um, Barred Rock chickens live forever and produce eggs forever. Ours were that way at least. Yeah, I'll have to check them out. Let's see here. Brian, is there any way I can send you my custom EDC for you to shoot and review it? Maybe bust your build. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up though. Bust your builds. I'm going to start those up again, but I'm not going to be doing them on YouTube. They're going to be on Rumble and Twitter only, or maybe just Rumble only. So if you're not subscribed to my Rumble channel, magdump_Morgan, get subscribed. And yeah, yeah, do that. All right. Well, let's see here. Somebody mentioned the Yankee Marshal. I haven't. Is he still putting out content? He was always very controversial. I always liked him, honestly, just because of how controversial he was. The Yankee Marshal, man. I haven't seen him in a while. Actually, I actually don't like. I don't watch a lot of GunTube. I'll be honest with you guys. I think it's just because I live in that space. Sometimes I just want to break from that space. It's different. You know what I'm saying? Um, Zach, Clint, I want a hat, but I got a fat ass head, so a big size. Oh man. I mean, it's a snapback, you know. It's I don't know how big you need, man. I don't know how big your head is, bro. Oh goodness gracious. But yeah, sorry, I completely forgot to get to the rest of your comment, Brian. Is there any way I can send you my custom EDC for you to shoot and review it? Maybe Buster build could go to the next level if you're shooting the subscribers' guns. What you think? You know, I feel like there's some liability there. All right, because what I don't want to do is break anything. Not saying that your gun is fragile or anything like that. I just don't know. And then, I just, I don't know. I just don't know. Um, so yeah. And Jake, yeah. Do we have to start a camera fund for you, Clint? I'm not gonna say no. All right. You guys do whatever you want to do, man. You guys do whatever you want to do. And if you tell me the funds are for a camera, all right. Just like my Nods fund. Now I have 2 horses. I know Kelsey's watching. Happy wife, happy life. That's Oh man. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it. Smash that like button, fellas. Absolutely, guys. And General Grant saying I have 8 chickens, 6 old English game bantams, 2 silkies, 2 roosters, 6 hens. Nice. Very cool. And Monadnock, y'all can bust my scar build when I'm done with it, and we show off how. So the FAL, the Fusil Automatique Léger. Um, Monadnock Shootist here is saying is somehow less than the SCAR. FN got it right once. They did with the FAL. And then they made that, dare I call it like a, I'll choose my words carefully here because, YouTube. But then they made the SCAR. We'll this is gonna be that's gonna be a fun topic. That's gonna be something really fun. All right. And Tanner's got jokes also. Tanner's got it's almost as funny as the Scar being superior than the FAL, which it's not. Giving his Forerunner away at 100K Rumble subs. With how long it might take me to get to 100K subs on Rumble, I might actually get a new car by then. So, maybe. Oh, goodness, man. Let's see here. Am I the only one just noticing the AT4 in the back of Vinny? I was seeing you guys saying talking to Vinny. It's okay. Everyone notices at some point. Yeah, it's a newer edition, so if you've been watching, for only a little while, yeah, there you go. The foul is fire. The shootist is also blasphemous. But Alex, you're just saying slander. You guys are really funny, dude. Um, read the next comment, Clint. The next comment is, I can't get over that ugly ass UGG boot butt stock on the Scar. Go ahead, read it. I dare you. Not done yet. Yes, I hate the tactical UGG boot. The barefoot garnet, leave my guns 2010 white women's fashion choice alone. Y'all are cracking me up, dude. Y'all are cracking me up. Oh, are we still live on YouTube? I just got a YouTube notification. Okay, yes, we're good. All right. When I see a YouTube notification pop up, I'm like, oh gosh, what now? What has the chat done? All right. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I definitely, like, in all seriousness, when it comes to the FAL and the Scar, I think the Scar is a cool gun. For the price, though, you can buy an FAL and kit it out versus having a base Scar that you have to do another $1,000 at least of upgrades to make it an ergonomic and fun shooting gun. Aside from that, it's concussive. Its recoil kind of sucks because it is, pretty lightweight, which is a good thing to have. Don't get me wrong, okay? Um, but overall, it's not exactly like the most pleasant gun to shoot. The FAL, yeah, a little chunkier. I mean, it's not made out of plastic, so obviously it's going to have better reliability and is just, as far as looks go, it doesn't have 2010's white women footwear, um, anything resembling that at least on there. It's almost like if you want to be a man among men, you will carry an FAL. And you guys should know that reference. All right. And what never dies? I'll let you guys sound off in the chat. Okay. And just remember the Scar is also not called the right arm of the free world. The FAL is, though. Just going to throw it out there. I mean, the FAL has got a reputation that obviously precedes it and therefore shames the Scar. All right. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Not the PTR FAL. That's a DSA SA58. DS Arms, great company. Love those guys over there also. And the Scar destroys optics. Yeah, I haven't had that issue, and I've shot a lot of Scars. All right, I've shot a lot of Scars, and I never saw any issues like that. Then again, I also shot with. This sounds very. I never shot cheap optics, too. So there's that. The FAL has as much reputation as the Galil. The Hebrew hammer. We've got um, what? JC? Oh my goodness. End of times, brother. Go check out Jesus' words in Matthew 24. Will do. The Scar 17 is greatly preferred over the Scar 16. Uh, yes, but I will say shooting the Scar 16 suppressed was actually probably one of the most pleasant suppressed shooting 5.56 guns I've ever shot. It blew my mind. I was not expecting to actually like it that much. I used to make fun of people with the Scar 16 because it's like, wow, you spent that much money on something that, you know what I'm saying? Uh, but then I shot it suppressed and I was like, oh, interesting. It was a lot of fun just to throw that out there. All right. Scar boot does have a functional purpose. That does not change the fact that it looks like an UGG boot and is ugly and is, you know. Let's see here. He's saying, I will absolutely concede the price point of mine will be far from stock, and the price point will reflect that, but a price must be paid for peak performance. There's plenty of 7.62s out there that you don't have to pay that type of price for that's still going to get you that same peak performance, if not better. But we get it, you know? Looks are cool. All right. Just throwing it out there. Okay. How many countries adopted the FAL and how many countries adopted the SCAR? Now, granted, in all fairness, the FAL has been around a whole lot longer than the SCAR, thus giving it the opportunity to be adopted, right? It was what? It was introduced in the 1950s, the FAL. Is that right? I cannot remember off the top of my head right now. FAL. Let's just do FNFAL. In 1947 to 1953 was its design, first produced in 1953. Yes, so the 1950s is when the FAL was um, designed, was when it was built, first produced. So compare that to what, 2009, 2008 for the FN SCAR. Is that when that happened? Special Operations Combat Assault Rifle, 2009. Yes. At least that's when it was in service, designed 2004. So, a few decades difference. And you would think with that amount of time, the difference between the two, that FN would have actually made a better gun, and somehow they went backwards. I mean, think about it, man. Like, I see where you're coming from, man. Like, Monadnock Shootist. Bro, I see where you're coming from. It's a cool gun. 1953, 2004. Okay? Within that period of time, they couldn't have done something better than the SCAR. Oh, and we're going to charge you $4,000 for it. Get the. Oh, and your rail space is going to be crap. Oh, and A2 grip. The A2 grip alone is on a. Okay. Okay. Dare I say more? Rob told me AR-10s are gay and he's my boss, so. Rob can be wrong sometimes because AR-10s are actually pretty cool. All right. The FAL was originally going to be in the 8mm Kurz, then the 280 British, yes, but ended up in the 7.62mm NATO. In fact, yes, originally designed. I didn't know about the 8mm Kurz. That's very interesting, but also makes sense. Belgium, kind of being there. Okay, Kurtz, yeah, all right. And then the 280 British, yes, and then they rechambered it for 7.62 NATO, so that way the United States would be a little bit more receptive to it. But then we got the M14, which ironically is let me just move that. Oh, you can't see it. It's down there. Actually, can I do this? Look at that. Fancy. Right? Oh, I'm on my chair. Oh man, I'm about to knock over everything. But anyway, M1A down there. FAL, new original Henry. There you go. So look at that. Also, you can tell too, I actually wear pants during my live streams. So you know, get them all. You know what I'm saying? It's all like history, and at least I call it an investment. You know, so yeah. Oh my gosh, are you serious, Tanner? Bro, you're kidding me right now. Nick, we've got 5 fingers and 5 toes. A healthy baby girl was born. Praise the Lord. Bro, get off the stream. You just had a baby. Cheers, everybody. Everybody cheers to Nick for I don't know if you're firstborn with a son or daughter, but you are officially here as far as what can be proven to what you're saying. Girl dad, welcome to the club. If you weren't already. And dude, cheers to you guys. So cheers to Nick for becoming a dad during the live stream, becoming a dad again during the live stream. I don't know of any other streamer, content creator that can say that one of their viewers was watching the stream and pretty much giving a play-by-play for their birth of their child. You know, just I gotta remember how far are we into this? An hour and 21 minutes. An hour and 21 minutes. So I can like talk about this. This is so funny. Congrats, Nick, man. That's awesome. Everybody give a big congrats, Nick. That is freaking cool, man. That's that's too freaking cool. You guys are hilarious. Man, Nick, I'm happy for you, bro. Glad everybody's healthy. Firstborn was a son, thank God. There you go. How does Clint send Nick a super chat? Y'all are too freaking funny, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is the community that I'm talking about right here. I don't know how many of us are actually neighbors, how many of us live 3 year gap. Congratulations, you know, that close to one another that might be in the chat and everything. But most of you I've never met. Most of you I wouldn't recognize walking down the street. But the moment you would say, "Oh, hey, it's Keith," "Oh, hey, it's Nick," you know, or whatever, "I watched your last stream," you know, I'd be like, "Oh, dude," you know, and we could talk about it. We could talk about Nick, you know, having his baby or his wife having his baby, you know, whatever your situation is, you became a girl dad, and man, just it's yeah, it's just too freaking cool, man. So there you go, there you go. Congratulations, man. All y'all in the chat. All right, Nick, I'll finally get out your American flag giveaway as a dude. I've been sitting on that thing because I'm like, I gotta figure out how to package it like without it being damaged. And I'm sorry, dude. I do keep forgetting. I'm getting it out this week. I'm getting it out this week. I'm gonna make sure it's packaged nice and safely from Jason Noble, Noble Works. He won that giveaway like months ago, and I'm sorry, man. And I will make sure that I get that out to you. Um, and I'll throw in some extras there for, you know, I mean, it's not every day that one of your viewers, like, and monthly YouTube member, um, you know, has a baby during the live stream. This is a goal I didn't know I had. You know, this was not on my bingo card. All of the other cliches that you can think of for 2025. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That is too freaking awesome. Very cool. And appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Does this make Clint a midwife? Oh, goodness gracious. You are too funny, man. All right. All right. Too freaking cool. We all live in the same house. The house of the Lord. Also, just to be clear, totally not hedging my bets either. I love the FAL. I would like to own one. The Scar is just near and dear dream gun and build to me. I'm completely biased. Dude, I totally get it. I just like giving you shit. Um, because, you know, there's I could just keep going in. Like, there's so many unreasonable things out there to own. Why not own a Scar? You know, like, it's just, I totally get it. But no, I put it this way. I think one of the reasons why the Scar like isn't just a bucket list gun of mine or anything like that is because thanks to Classic, I got to shoot one all the time. We were always doing Scar giveaways. I was always kitting out Scars, doing, working with why am I drawing a blank on the name? Development Group, K KSD, KD Development, KDG, KD. You guys help me out. The aftermarket Scar people. I already know somebody's in the chat. I'm waiting for you guys. Something development. Something I know it's something development. And Monadnock Shootist, I know you would know who I'm talking about. Why am I drawing such a blank? But I throw all these different aftermarket KDG. Yeah, okay, KDG. Yeah, Kinetic Development Group. That's what it was. Kinetic Development Group. There it is. Yes, thank you. And they they make so much cool aftermarket stuff for the Scar, and so and we did all sorts of stuff with them and at Classic, and so I always just had my hands on it, and it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'd shoot it, I really like shooting it, and then it was just one of those things that kind of quickly just like, on to the next thing, and then when we got one again, be like, ah, cool, I get to shoot a Scar again, and yeah, but yeah, there is something about it that is just really cool. I do like the Scar. I'll give it shit all day long, but I do like the Scar, So yeah, that's all. But no, not GPRS. I'm okay. What? Y'all got what I was saying. I would go for an ACR over a Scar. Changed my mind just for the historical reference of the ACR. Yes, and the ACR had so much potential, guys. Bushmaster, Magpul. I mean, like they just had so much potential with the adaptive combat rifle, and yeah, there were supposed to be conversion kits for different calibers, and then they put out calibers that nobody wanted. It's like, why, dude? And then the support for the gun just fell off, especially after all the bankruptcy. I mean, you're thinking Freedom Group, you're thinking Bushmaster and all that type of stuff, and it's just like, man, the ACR would have been really, really cool. And I've had the opportunity to shoot a bunch of ACRs too, man. And they are fun, piston driven little guns, just like I mean, a more fair comparison obviously would be the Scar 16 to the ACR because they're both 5.56 caliber piston driven guns. And man, it sucks. It sucks. Uh Scar is like the FN57 of pistols for me. Cool, but yeah. Yeah, I actually took my KDG rail off. It's just not quite what I wanted. Yeah, I get it. I get it. The versatility of the ACR is superior to the Scar. Yeah, yeah, I could say that. It's just now just trying to find parts for the ACR. It gets expensive. That it does. Let's see here. I did find out that you can convert a Scar 17 to 8.6 Blackout. I didn't know that. So that's kind of cool too. That's the route that you want to go. I don't think Bushmaster is bringing back the ACR. I think didn't Franklin Armory purchase the rights to the ACR? Did I who bought? I think it was Franklin. The rights to the ACR. Come on, AI. Come on, AR. Franklin Armory. 2020. 2020 was that long ago? I feel like it was just a year ago. Magpul originally developed the design, then licensed it to Bushmaster in 2008, which produced it as the ACR. Bushmaster's parent company, Remington, later took over production for military contracts. After the bankruptcy of Remington, the Bushmaster trademark and ACR name were sold at auction to Franklin Armory in 2020. And what has Franklin Armory done with it? Insert meme here of a little cartoon guy with the stick figure poking the Franklin Armory logo and say, "Come on, make ACR." It would be cool. But they've been too busy making short-barreled non-NFA rifles that the ATF said, okay, cool, you can, only to say, not cool, you can't. Did you guys hear about that? And the antithesis? Yes, I know it's quite the name, but it makes sense. The antithesis is the short barreled rifle that is rifled from Franklin Armory that originally was sold and is now being fought for, but and approved by the ATF to be sold in a under 16-inch configuration, not as an NFA item. All right. Did you guys see that? If not, you should check it out. The technicality behind it. Oh, and there goes the camera again. Gosh, mother. Oh, stupid freaking cameras, man. It's just stupid. Just freaking, just mother. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, um, I am going to get a dedicated streaming camera. I'm done putting it off. So, the technicality behind how Franklin Armory was able to sell the Antithesis, a short barreled rifle, without NFA regulation was because they were able to get approval from a judge that said their argument made sense because of the definition of what a rifle is: a single projectile. A firearm with a barreled rifle that fires a single projectile, okay? Because of a type of ammunition that shoots multiple projectiles, that therefore, well, makes null and void the definition of a rifle because of a type of ammunition, which set the precedent and which Franklin Armory was intending to do in their own way, that any other 5.56 calibered, which also this could be going a lot for all other types of calibers as well, anything that can have a multi-projectile. I mean, you're thinking like rat shot, snake shot, things like that, right? Anything that has multi-projectiles that could shoot multiple projectiles is not therefore considered a rifle under that definition, and therefore is not subject to NFA regulation. You know, I like that a manufacturer is coming at it from a manufacturing point like that. You've got GOA that's coming at it from a technicality, not even a technicality, but the fact that registrations are unconstitutional, and since the passing of the big beautiful bill, if that's what you want to call it, it's a $0 tax for an NFA item. Then why is there a registration? The registration was for the tax paid, not for the firearm. I know, I roll, yeah, right. But that's what ultimately Congress said made it legal, was that it was a registration of a tax. Since it's a $0 tax, there will, well, what's the registration of? The firearm? That's illegal. That's unconstitutional. You cannot have that. Dismantle the NFA. So it's being attacked from now the manufacturing side of things, the advocacy, and the legal side of things. I truly believe that we are reaching the antithesis, the point where the NFA has a very low survivability within the next few years. Just throwing it out there. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I have often been very pessimistic when it comes to this type of stuff, but yeah, the Reformation was the stepping stone, because the Reformation was smoothbore, not a rifle. What does a rifle need to be considered a rifle? Rifling, lands and grooves in the barrel. If it's a smoothbore, not the case. So there you go. So yeah, I'm 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 hopeful, guys. I'm optimistic. All right, I'm optimistic. The only problem is, I say in a few years, the entire political climate can change in a few years. Or we actually see this civil war that everybody's talking about and the downfall of society, and, well, there are no more laws. So who gives a shit? Do what you want to do. You know, I am not an anarchist. I am very pro small government. A government as intended by our founding fathers that has one job: the defense and security of its people. I don't need to be told how to live my everyday life. And I definitely don't want to be told by a bunch of different factions if government were to fail, of tribes, of gangs, of groups of people that ultimately want to probably oppress. I mean, it's that's essentially what would happen. We are a community-based species, right? We're not designed to kind of make it on our own. Some of us very well could, but having a community is very essential. Those communities are going to group together. And I doubt that a lot of communities will actually ally themselves peacefully. I think it would actually have to be a forcible takeover of different communities. And then you're essentially going to go from an anarchy to and probably a dictatorship. Anarchy won't fall, won't, I'm sorry, will fail at the end of it all. Somebody's going to be in power. And even the illusion of elections, I think, is better than a dictator. I'm going to have to ponder that. But talking right here, right now, the illusion of elections, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, I think better than a dictatorship. It's better than communism, so. But yeah. Ah, hell, bro. Just make sure you have food, land, fresh water. A shelter is great, but even a tent is fine. I've been prepping for years and have most of it. That's great. That's great. But I will tell you right now, a tent here in the winter, mm, you know, for a night or two, sure. But for any length of time, that's not comfortable, and you're probably going to get frostbite and you're probably going to die. But, prepared is not paranoid, just like what I said earlier, guys. Just like what I said earlier. Power vacuums cannot last. There will always be a centralization of power over time, no matter how unstable. Exactly my point. Thank you. Peaceable republic. Yes, as we are supposed to be. No one ever seems to bring up that abortion is just unconstitutional as gun control. Well, it's murder, so yeah, that makes sense. We the people, America. That is very true. A completely restructured small government. Yep. Mike, what up, Clint? Met you at GunCon. Thanks for the patch, bro. It's still glowing. Hey, that's what's up, man. Thanks for being here, Mike. Appreciate that. And what happened? Trump just cleared up firearm exporting. 4 Boxes Diner, y'all. Really? What just happened? Too much breaking news happening tonight. Trump firearm exportation. Are we all about to watch 4 Boxes Diner? A couple hours ago, Trump administration scraps Biden gun export restrictions. Really? There we go. The Brady campaign. All right. If the Brady campaign is against it, I'm for it. Brady warns of increased global. This is from BradyUnited.org press release. Brady warns of increased global instability and endangered lives from new Trump administration gun industry rule. Subheader: Commerce Department regulation eliminates key oversight of U.S. sourced exports of firearms to nations abroad and increases ability for drug cartels, gangs, and terrorist networks to obtain illicit weapons. You mean like leaving them there in Afghanistan wasn't a, you know, you mean like when the ATF provided the cartels with firearms? It's almost like government is more responsible for firearms being obtained by, oh, I don't know, terrorist organizations and drug cartels than any manufacturer trying to actually do legitimate business ever will be. Brady, you guys are a bunch of fucking idiots. Y'all are so stupid. You guys are absolutely downright stupid individuals. You think that by, again, allowing businesses to do business legitimately so that way said businesses won't go under or actually wind up with those business owners and employees possibly in prison. You think that they're the ones responsible for terrorist organizations and cartels getting their hands on weapons that even civilians can't own? Caveat, they can own, but not without going through such strict regulation? Literal Black Hawk helicopters left in Afghanistan. Never mind the actual assault rifles and machine guns and destructive devices known as grenades and everything else that were left. How about the canine units, the dogs themselves? Military trained animals. I thought you'd be a little concerned about that. Left for an actual terrorist organization to take possession of. Hundreds of thousands of weapons. More weapons left within a month's time, 1 month, than what will probably be exported by private business. I can't even give a length of time. But are you kidding me? Brady campaign, Brady United. I'm sure every town for gun safety is going to have something on it. I'm looking at the wrong camera too because that camera battery died. Spider Scroll angers me every time I hear it. And yes, our taxes even paid. Essentially, it's still being paid. Our taxes are paying terrorist organizations. Our tax money, either directly or indirectly, is funding terrorist organizations. I'm looking at the wrong camera again. You need a cigar break. Thanks, Tanner. Riddle me this. How do cartels get M4 carbines marked U.S. property properly? Solo Gordo, thanks for the super chat, man. Okay. All right. Changing pace a little bit. Should it's a fan scenario, is it better to have one lower with multiple uppers or to carry multiple complete builds, like, say, one lower with a Mark 18 and Mark 12 upper? It depends on your capabilities. I would vouch that having complete guns would be preferable, but if you're on the move, I could totally understand how having one lower, multiple uppers would be very beneficial. Again, if you're on foot. At the same time, if I'm running around with my Mark 18 and I need to engage a target that's 400, 500 yards out, I could do it, but it wouldn't be as effective as if I was carrying my Mark 12. Granted, likelihood of any of this happening, carrying the one lower with multiple uppers logistically makes more sense. That being said, having another complete lower for parts, anything that could go wrong, a complete gun, things like that, yeah, additional buffer springs, all that type of stuff. Extra parts are good. But again, if you're thinking about being on the move, you're gonna have to do with what you can. So yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I'd like to hear from what other people are saying about that too. But yeah, Brady campaign just I can't with them, man. I can't. Like the problem is too is they truly think they're doing the right thing. They really think that by disarming Americans, they would be saving lives. And in one way, hey, you know what? It's honorable. That's your opinion. The problem is you're so wrong because throughout the course of history, an unarmed populace is left, well, obviously unable to defend themselves from those that would wish to oppress them. And usually it's the same government that disarmed them. Don't be fooled by temporary safety. Don't be fooled that we just live in this modern time and we don't have that's revolution, civil war, tyrannical governments. That doesn't exist today. While people are being arrested for Facebook posts in different countries, while 14-year-olds are defending themselves with knives from migrant criminals that look to do what to them? What am I talking about? You guys saw the Scottish girl pull out like a knife and like a was it a cleaver? Was it an axe? And she was being chastised by these people. I don't even know the full story, but looking at it, and it's just like she felt it necessary to carry around knives because these adult men were harassing her. Hmm. Police are so backlogged, it's going to take a while. Have a firearm to protect your life and liberty. It's sad, really. Folks should be able to maintain the living we already handle. Anyone who's read a history book and thinks disarming citizens ends well needs to have their head examined. Nothing is more dangerous than an enemy who believes they're morally right and justified, as we've seen already. You know, don't trust the government to protect you. Don't trust anybody to protect you. All right, guys, let's call that a night. And thank you guys. All the super chats that came in tonight and everything. Um, thank y'all. Y'all have no idea how much really it is appreciated. And and even if you haven't super chatted, you know, um, y'all being here, the loyalty every time. I mean, so many of you guys, every single live stream show up, at least as many as you can. And man, that means so much. You guys are awesome. I greatly appreciate every last one of you. Uh, y'all aren't going to be forgotten ever. So again, thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for helping the channel out. Legitimately, you are monthly members. Thank you. You guys are huge support and help. Everybody that's supporting over on Patreon. And if I've got any friends, by the way, any viewers that are in Illinois, my homies over there, Gun Camp, they are looking to educate and train on firearm safety, instruction, things like that. Check him out. That's Twister Rhymes. That's his organization that he started. They are a nonprofit, and they're just looking to better educate the people. Yeah, the Chicago types. Trying to get them better equipped, better trained. Mindset is another huge thing. You know, We are gonna have a podcast together. That one's gonna be pretty exciting, pretty fun. Get kind of the roots of, what got Twista into this and why, just I have a feeling I already know the answer as to why, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. So again, big thank you to all of you guys that have been supporting. Again, big thanks to everybody. Solo, thank you. Appreciate that. And we can play this game. That's fine. Y'all want to keep sending super chats and delaying me actually ending the live stream because that's just rude. Um, you know, to end the live stream as you guys are sending super chats, but I'm cool with it, whatever. But Greg Jones, you're in Illinois. That's awesome, man. You're gonna have to check out Gun Camp, GUNCAMP. I'm going to be working with those guys a little bit more here in the future, so you're going to be seeing them. We'll talk a little bit about what their mission is and what all they're doing, and I think you'll be pretty excited to see them. So that'll be pretty dope. Um, Kryptonian, we don't need training. We're all fed up with the price gouging food and fuel. Man, you could get a horse. You don't have to, spend money on gas. Oh, goodness. Let's all be Charlie. Solid, Jake. Solid. Definitely go check them out. Goofy Camille, that's awesome. Do it, man. Do it. I think you'll like them. We got Tanner. He'll be sleeping on his table as we keep sending super chats. Y'all killing me, dude. Yeah, and here we go. The Cajun Cheesehead. Thank you. Appreciate that. Kryptonian. Dos Equis pine on me. That's what's up. I like Dos Equis, so that's good. All right. I can't debate like Charlie, but I will certainly project the rest of the mission to my abilities. That's great. Do it. Do it. All right. Um, I'm gonna wait for this is man, you talk about a deep dive. Um, I'm gonna wait for more information to come out. There's a lot of speculation that could be had. Obviously, I think we're gonna learn a lot during the trial. Um, you know, it's really difficult to say what I believe. Do I believe he was the actual trigger puller? Um, as of right now, I'm leaning towards yes. Like yeah, I'm thinking he probably did it. Like I said, there's so much speculation, so much information. It's hard to narrow down what's actually true. And I still have to hold on to some hope that our nation's, and I'll admit, legal system. I don't think it's necessarily a justice system when I take a look at things, as mentioned earlier, like with Daniel Penny, you know, I have to trust, I have to hope that justice will be done, that the truth will come to light, you know? Mm. Isaiah Willis, thank you. Appreciate that. Tanner says no. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get a mistrial. Yeah. Do we know if it'll be an open trial? I do not know that. Do you think it was a 30-06? Watching that video, seeing it, I'll be honest with you guys, I haven't seen the forensics. I haven't seen up close images of the carnage. I saw the video. I saw the amount of blood that poured from his neck. And even if it were, I mean, just a graze right through here, it's going to do some serious damage. And I'll be honest with you, I've never shot anything with a 30-06 before, so I'm not, like I said, any forensics expert or anything like that. I've shot a lot of firearms into paper targets, man. You know, I can tell you that I think a lot of people are digging into it. I don't think there's any symbolism here. Like he spoke too much, that's why he was shot in the throat. No, I think you probably had an inexperienced shooter not account for the distance at which he was shooting. He was probably aiming for the head and hit in the neck. That's what I think. That could be completely wrong, could be completely off base. I don't know. I think he was probably aiming for the head and missed, but still landed a fatal shot, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, man. Will we actually ever know? I seriously doubt it. I mean, look how long it took to even get a little bit of the JFK information. It would be nice if we weren't completely under the thumb of a foreign government. There's so much speculation still going on. I think 30-06 would have passed through more so than what was shown, but it's hard to say at this point. I actually think it's a possibility as lapel mic exploded, kind of similar to completely unrelated incident with some pagers exploding. Interesting. Yeah. I'm still waiting for the Kennedy files to come to light. Um, top 5 cans go. Oh my gosh. Okay. Allen Engineering AEM5. I love that one. Um, I do like the Hugsworks Flow 556. I do like the Surefire RC2. Why am I drawing a blank? That's like 3. I guess I could just take a look around. And oh god, I forgot all about my yeah, the disavowed group silencers have really impressed me. The Badger 3, I think is the 556 can that I really like by them. Yeah, disavowed group, that's a solid can, you know. Whoops. Um, accidentally hit the go back on my computer, so I'm glad that everything worked okay, I think. Did I just cut out for a second? I don't even know, but yeah, that was wild. But anyway, yeah, there was a few of them. Yeah, it should be back now. Sorry about that, guys. No, it wasn't the camera. I accidentally on my mouse, you can hit a button to go like back a page, in your browser, and yeah, there you go. You got tired of us analysis. That's funny. But no, yeah, I'm trying to think if there was yeah, Kels, she thinks, she said Occam's razor, which I always forget like what does that even mean? And philosophical principle stating that when faced with compelling or excuse me, competing explanations, the one that is simplest and requires the fewest assumptions or entities is generally preferred. Yeah. Hmm. But anyway, thank you, Crunchy Taco. Love y'all too, man. Appreciate you guys. But okay, I'm tired. Dead Air Sandman X is a great 30 cal can. I think he said 556, though, right? Oh, he just had top 5 cans. Oh, wasn't even paying attention to that. All right. Well, I was thinking 556. As far as like 30 cal goes, my goodness. I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, the Sandman X is great. So there's that too. And again, I am the fan of the flow cans. I do like them. The reduced back pressure is great. Again, the disavowed group cans, I'm a huge fan of. They do such great work also. No, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'm gonna go kiss my wife goodnight. Love you guys. Thank you guys for dealing again with the technical difficulties and the crap that I do when I accidentally hit buttons and go back and then, you know, all that type of stuff. But and you guys are still offering good information in the chat too. I'm gonna leave it there. All right. Okay. Thank you guys. Great show. Simplified. Good night, y'all. Perfect. Otter Creek cans, by the way, are great too. You know enough about it to have an opinion. I honestly don't. Mudslinger, I really don't, but I do know Otter Creek makes some great silencers. So there you go. All right. That's it. I'm done. Y'all have a good night. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. Carry a firearm. Stay strapped. Be vigilant. All right. Be careful out there. As we've talked about earlier in this stream, the world's a crazy place. It's dangerous. It's violent. And you need to be just as dangerous and violent. Remember, you are not a peaceful individual if you're not actually capable of violence. Okay? Keep that in mind. So be peaceful, except when absolutely necessary. Y'all stay safe out there. God bless you guys. We'll see you next time.